Hey everybody, today is March 23rd, 2022. I'm Gene. Welcome to Hanging with Uncle, Wednesday edition. So tonight I just want to talk a little bit about why I changed my voting affiliation. I get asked that quite frequently now that I've, announced it. Like, why don't you pick a side, Gene? So my friends, like-minded people, who we associate with, there's just a common thread as to why I believe what I do. Okay, so why I don't want to associate Republican. All right, from my perspective, just where I sit, looking at the things that are going on in the world and current events. I do not support anything Republicans stand for. They want to have an authoritarian style government where they control the will of the people versus the people being exercised or having the authority to exercise their free will, such as right to procreation under the Constitution. They want to make that decision for you, ladies. And personally, I call it discrimination. Those that are so pro-life, again, are coming from a point where they want to use their religious beliefs as law over everyone else just because that's the way they think. They don't respect your wishes if you think otherwise. And so they try and enact laws to discriminate only against women. And to me, that's discrimination. Because if life was so, sanctimonious and blessed, where are all the protests outside urology offices where men get vasectomies? They have their right to procreate in their bodies. Why is the hubbub going on around only women? It's discriminatory because it only focuses on one gender. And sorry, but that's one big reason I will never support Republicans. The other is their stance on immigration at the southern border. And this is important to me because facts matter. And I've said this before, but in case if this is your first time listening or hearing me speak on this subject, personally, my views on immigration are the people that we now call Mexicans. Let's say Texas, where a majority of the border is their indigenous land. Remember, in the 1840s, slavery was still legal in the United States. And when the U.S. cavalry came into Texas and enslaved the indigenous people that we call Mexicans, they thought that was their right because, might equals right. And, that's just somebody's rationale of using a tactic because they don't have any brains. They only think with might. And that's what's going on now. And it has been for almost 200 years. Because when General Santa Anna rode across the Rio Grande to free the enslaved people that the United States had captured and enslaved, especially at the Alamo, they wanted to cry foul and say, hey, look, Mexico attacked us. We have to declare war. So, this is why I can't stand you, Greg Abbott, you, Ken Paxton, and everybody else in the Texas state legislature that is perpetrating this lie about our southern border. Okay, if you tell the truth, maybe we can get somewhere on how we start communicating with one another. As far as I'm concerned, one of the biggest pieces of evidence showing that, the city of El Paso wouldn't be called El Paso if really the white man founded this place. It would be called the Pass. And San Antonio would be called St. Anthony. And Amarillo would be called Yellow. So you see what I'm saying? It's like, look how long these cities have been named the way they are, and you'll see who named them and who the indigenous people were that were here. So to say that somebody is here illegally when they were here indigenously is another reason I do not support Republicans. So that's just a couple. Economics, don't get me started. Yeah, I can't follow that mentality. That goes against everything I was taught as a Christian. Okay, I was born and raised in a Catholic household, and we were taught the Good Samaritan rule. It's about what you do for others, and it doesn't matter how much it costs, because we're supposed to pay for somebody that's less fortunate. You know, that whole whatever, you do for the least of my brethren kind of thing. I don't band to that theory that, well, I got to pay for it and this ain't cool because this, you're not a real Christian if that's how you think, if that's what you call yourself. So again, those are just some really big reasons why I can't get with the Republican Party. They're a bunch of hypocrites, and they don't stand for fairness or equality for other people, only themselves. Now, why am I not a Democrat? I changed because of the way things have gone in the first, year under Biden's presidency. Now, I do not blame Joe Biden for not getting voting rights done. I blame Republicans for that. All 50 Republicans in the Senate want to see voter suppression because they seek power. And they don't want to change their message, so they want to change the rules so they stay in power. It's another reason I will never vote Republican. But I do blame Manchin and Sinema for not standing up and supporting our voting rights. It's obvious what they're doing. Look at all the ballots that have been rejected in the state of Texas. But that's more important to protect a filibuster than the right of people to vote. You guys can kiss my ass. That's a really big reason I'm not a Democrat any longer, because of you two. I don't blame Biden for not getting Build Back Better done. I blame not only Manchin and Sinema, but all 50 Republicans, because as poor a state as Kentucky is, you mean to tell me Rand Paul and Mitch McConnell don't think that money would go back to and help the citizens of their state? They don't think the citizens of the state of Kentucky are worth those improvements? So I blame them for obstructing what Biden wanted to do and what the majority of the American people supported. Again, so this is a rule of the few or the two over the voters. You got your hand out wanting my vote or my signature to get on the ballot or campaign contributions, and then turn around and give me the thumbs down on something you promised, which was to increase minimum wage, Kyrsten Sinema. I can't wait to vote for your primary opponent. As a matter of fact, in 2018, I voted for your primary opponent, Deidre Abood. I did not want you because your voting record in the House was deplorable. What I do blame you for, President Biden, is you promised to decriminalize marijuana as part of your criminal justice reform. That's something you can do with the power of the executive branch and a pen, and you're refusing to act on it. You are going back on a campaign promise after you asked for my help to vote for you to put you in office. So again, I'm tired of both parties lying to me on their campaign promises. So saying that, I will say in my congressional district here in Arizona, I won't say which one, but the past 2 congressional cycles, I did not vote for the Democrat because they lied. The first time, there was a female, and again, I'm not going to mention any names, challenged to have other Democrats thrown off the ballot. Now that is her right. Okay, but here's what I didn't appreciate. She claimed to have no knowledge of this incident and that it was just one of her supporters that was doing this and wanted to challenge the signatures. Well, again, I'm a retired police officer, okay? And I don't take people at their word when it comes to things like that. So I looked at her FEC, Federal Election Commission paperwork, and sure enough, just coincidentally, the same law firm used to challenge these candidates was paid $7,000 over 2 different payments to this exact same law firm by the candidate. So I'm tired of being lied to. You don't just get my vote because you have a D next to your name. If you lie to me, you're done. And the second cycle, what they thought was best was the other candidate lied. He was going around saying how he had the most votes in a state election than any other Democrat ever in the history of his particular legislative district. Well, that's too easy to check. And I did, because the following cycle, the person who ran after that for that same seat didn't win, but gained 4,000 more votes and 4% more of the vote than he did. So he just straight out lied to everyone to say he was the best candidate because he got more votes than anybody and he was the sure thing. And I'm tired of people lying to me. So I don't have that herd mentality. I don't go one way because R says so or this way because D says so. No, you got to be honest with me if you want to earn my trust and my vote, or even think about asking me to break open my wallet to give you a campaign contribution. So that is why I am not a Democrat either, and I am registered as no party preference. So hopefully that clears a lot of things up, and thank you for listening and paying attention to me. And Zane and I will see you on Friday. So please, if you have not already, hit that subscribe and thumbs up the like button. And we'll see you on Friday, guys. Bye.